Hi, I'm Mac McCarthy, and I help people with their breakups. And today, we got another gem of a story. And we're playing out with some new camera things here, so bear with me. We got two stories on deck. My girlfriend has a cyber friend, and I know everything. So, this is kind of a reoccurring theme recently that you find out your girlfriend's messing around, screwing around, cheating, playing around, or, I don't know, texting, right? And you get suspicious because things aren't going well. One thing leads to another. Where there's smoke, there's fire. And the list goes on, right? The list goes on. So I'm just checking the screen here that is saying it's not optimal because we're using a different camera here. Please let me know if it's coming in clear for you or not clear for you on the stream right now. So basically in this story we have a situation where the guy gets suspicious. She's talking to someone online. It gets a little deeper than that. He does his best to investigate, which isn't always fun because when you investigate, you don't always like what you find. And you can't go back and say, I wish I would have never saw that. So, if you have a story you want to share, please visit writemac.com. If you want to book a live coaching session and talk to me on FaceTime or Skype about your situation, your breakup, and fully unpack your story, which I really do believe is your first step in getting through your breakup, getting some clarity, send it into writemac.com. Let's get into the story. So, hello, Coach Mac. I just saw some of your other videos, and I like how you break things down piece by piece. Well, thank you for saying thank you. Here's my story. Have at it. I'm 30, and my ex is 24, and we broke up 1 month ago. I was seriously in love with this person. I've been in 3 long-term relationships prior to this, and this is by far the most loved I felt. Well, that's saying something because a lot of times people say, this is the most love I've ever loved someone, but you're saying this is the most love you've ever felt. Interesting way to grade things. Nav, how you doing? She was everything a man could hope for, and I spoiled her all that I could, but it wasn't enough. Well, I mean, spoiling an individual, just like spoiling a kid, isn't always a good thing. So the idea that you're in a relationship where you somehow you feel like you're being loved a lot, and the way you repay that is spoiling her, that's not always the best thing in a relationship. And what does spoiling someone create? Brats. So just think about that for a moment. And also, it doesn't necessarily lead to higher attraction or appreciation. It actually a lot of times leads to someone wanting to want more stuff. So she's the type of woman that love and loves, then suddenly will pull away because I didn't take the garbage out or clean off the counter properly. My short answer would be, if you have enough money, get a maid then. If you're not great at cleaning and that's kind of like not your thing, someone would say, oh, well, you got to work on taking the garbage out or cleaning the counter. Like I said, if that's not your thing and that's not something that you've dealt with in the past, do you want to deal with that? So there's some people that are clean freaks that it's absolutely a grounds to get in an argument over. And I just think that there's some things that you can do where you're not backstepping every time. But I've had couples that they break up over cleanliness. So it's a problem sometimes. I would apologize and do it after, but it was like she was disgusted or just pissed off for a day. Looking back, I think she was overreacting. Well, here you go. Things like that, like taking the garbage out or cleaning the counters, things like that, individually based, people are different. They value taking the garbage out. They value cleaning the countertops. And probably she grew up in a really strict family that she was forced or drill sergeant into doing those things, and now it's very important to her. I would apologize and do it after, but it was, sorry. Looking back, I think she was overreacting. We were together for 2 years and 2 months, and everything was great these last 2 years, but those extra 2 months sucked. To recap, we were broken up 1 month ago, and 2 months ago is when it started to go bad. She started talking to a guy on her phone, some guy she said she went out with before, but they were never serious. Says who? Her? I said, okay, just don't overdo it. She laughed and asked if I was jealous. She laughed and asked if I was jealous. That means that she kind of gets a kick out of it when you get jealous. I think that's a bit of a red flag. She said, don't worry, this guy has nothing on you. I felt good with that statement being made. We continued on from that day of confronting her. I found her on her phone all the time, much more than usual. Finally, I went into detective mode and got into her phone. This is very common now. And what I found made me sick to my stomach. They were sending naked pics to each other. This isn't, like I said, this is very common now. And it wasn't the original guy that I had confronted her on. This dude was weird. I was able to find him on social media. That night I decided to not confront her on it. I let her play on her phone even though I was steaming inside. Again, people that come to me with these situations, a lot of times they don't like to say anything at first. They like to see where this heads, and they like to see if their partner continues on. And I think what they're doing a lot of times is they don't want to confront the person because they know it's going to be bad. I mean, what is she going to say, right? There's no way out of this. I actually ignored her that night. I think I was scared to bring it up because that's what is she going to say? So instead of, I kept researching this other guy, which is probably the worst thing you can do. I started researching this other guy. I found where he worked and got his email from there. I emailed him that the woman he's been sending pics of his little wee-wee is my girlfriend. Well, that's really mature of you. I told him to stop or I'm going to have to confront him in a different way. He responded with LOL and she told me she was single. I think you're talking to the wrong person. And you know what? To be quite honest, he's right. You know, your girlfriend is the person that needs to talk to you about this. Then he wrote, let me guess, you haven't even confronted her yet. And he called me a wussy, but with a P. Well, I mean, I've heard of guys doing this where they confront the other guy. It's a weak move because this guy doesn't owe you nothing. He's not your friend. He's not your colleague. He's not a family member. He's a single guy that is interacting with your girlfriend, maybe unbeknownst to him that you are together or not together, but the real conversation you have to have is with your girlfriend. I, of course, was pissed, but it was true. So that night, I dropped it on her. She, of course, told me I was spying on her, but then admitted it was true, but that she didn't think it was a problem as she had no plans to meet the guy. She explained it's just a fun to play online but not do anything. She told me, look, I'm sleeping in your bed. I asked, is this something she'd be doing for the last 2 years? She said no and told me she'd quit doing it. So I don't know what's better of an answer than you can get than that, but the fact that you have pictures to go along with this, you know there's another guy in the picture, that's tough. If I really had a problem with it, or if I wanted, I could join this. She said if I really had a problem with it, or if I wanted, I could join this online community she was in. I said no without hesitation. I'm not into that. The next month, the fact that she invited you into the community means that she wanted to keep it going. That means that she doesn't really want to let it go. The next month, she wasn't on her phone as much, but I still had lost trust in her and found myself picking weak little fights with her, and then I'd always let it go. Well, that's you. These little fights that you probably wouldn't have thought about before, it's you being insecure now that you found out what you did, right? So, She was talking to a new guy now, and pics were sent. I'm sorry, I lost my place here. Then in the last month before the breakup, I stumbled across some messages that were on her computer. She was talking to... You stumbled across some messages. Okay. She was talking to a new guy now, and pics were sent again, this time with costumes and weird stuff. He doesn't mention what the costumes were, but okay. I called her out on it immediately. She again got pissed off that I looked at her computer. She explained again she had no feelings for this guy. It was just fun, and she'd stop if I want. I wasn't amused. I kicked her out of the house, which I pay rent for. She cried and said she didn't know where to go. I said that's not my problem. Then after talking more that night, I forgave her, but the next morning I couldn't let it go. Well, this is what happens. In the heat of the moment, you get in arguments, someone does something wrong, someone cheats, someone does something suspicious, you forgive the individual, but it's really hard to let things go when there's visual pictures, when you feel betrayal, and sometimes sorry, it's just not enough. It just doesn't cure the situation. And really, you need to separate for a little bit of time probably to let, because you're just going to bring this up over and over and over and over and over again. Then after talking more that night, I forgave her, but the next morning I couldn't let it go. So this is your classic, I can forgive, but I can't forget. I just kept bringing it up. She finally asked to give her 2 weeks to move out. She finally asked me to give her 2 weeks to move out. I didn't want this, but agreed to it. She was out in a week and told me she was going to her sister's, only for me to find out recently she's living with another guy. Well, I mean, she's been exchanging naked pics with communities online. The fact that she's got another guy lined up that she's moved in with, I'm sorry, but it's not surprising. Now here I am missing her, replaying all the madness and wanting to confront her again. I want to let her know that I know she's not with her sister. How do I let this crap go? How do I move on, man? A part of me wants her back. So you got three different things here. If you think about it, this is, from the outside in, everyone that's listening to this is going, well, it's obvious. Let her go, man. She's seeing someone else. She's living with someone else. But it's not that easy, right? First of all, let's break this down into three parts. You're not gonna just be able to let this go. So this is gonna linger with you for a little while, unless you want to try something like hypnosis, which is something I actually do, hypnotherapy. That won't erase it, but it helps you let go of things. But you can't just let it go by telling your brain, just forget this. It doesn't work that way. So how do you let go of this crap? You neutralize it. So you go, every time it pops up, and this would be a good time for you to do a live coaching session and dive deeper into this with me. But that thought comes to your mind, you go, damn, how long has she been doing this? She's been playing me. She's seeing some other guy. All these things go on. And the worst part is, you see the guy's picture. That's tough, right? Because then if you got a face to go with it, and then you got these other things involved, that's tough. I would say the only way you're going to let it go is to create some space between you two for a little while. Because any interaction you have with her, even if she's kind and sweet to you, you're still going to be thinking about that. You need time for the smoke to clear. How do I move on? One day at a time. And I would start with not chasing her. And the fact that you want her back, a lot of people go, oh, I would just be done. It's bullshit. It's natural. This is your girlfriend, dude, of 3 years, I think you wrote. 2 years and 2 months. 2 years and 2 months. Okay, and it was really good for 2 years. It's not that easy. It's not that easy to just move on. So I totally get where you're coming from. What do I recommend? Don't chase her. Don't investigate these other dudes. And this idea is she's moved in with someone else. Don't look into it any further. And do not confront her. Because what are you going to do? Is she going to get in trouble? Is she going to get arrested? Is she going to get a ticket? Is she going to go to jail? No. You're going to look like you're going to look really bad in her eyes because you're chasing her. She's already with some other dude. You don't want any more of that information. The best thing you can do right now is figure out where you stand as an individual and where you want to head. And the fact that she's not living with you and she moved in with some other guy, that's your clarity to go, man, I didn't know this woman the way I thought I did. And I would add, you're 30, she's 24. 6 years doesn't seem like a lot, but in this situation, the maturity levels seem a little bit skewed. So I'd add that in. If you want to do a live coaching session, I'd highly recommend it. The $25 you spent on sending this story in would go towards that if you want to do that. We got B on the mic today.
What's going on, guys?
What's your take on this? So in the future of the live streams, we're going to maybe have some other takes, but I would like to get through the story myself first so we don't create too much confusion. But what do you think about this situation, B?
Yeah, this situation seems like it's happening more, like you said, this online stuff. I think in today's day and age, that's just becoming more prevalent. For him, yeah, I think that he just is afraid to be alone, I think that's probably the main cause of why he wants her back.
Mm-hmm.
But like you said, I think, trying like the no contact, not looking her up, not researching anything, I think that's probably the best course of action. And like I think I've said before, work on yourself, like you said, one day at a time, just go from there.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's the best thing to do.
Mm-hmm. I think what gets underrated though is that reading it from this point, it's so easy to be objective and be like, oh yeah, this is crap, don't go back.
Yeah.
But man, when you do your research and you catch something like that, it's hard to erase images.
Of course.
And so it's like post-traumatic stress type stuff.
Yeah.
Even if you're going to get back with this woman, that just like you said, I forgave her, but the next day I kept bringing it up. It's hard.
Yeah.
It's hard because if you don't pull those roots,
right,
it's just you'll never be able to get back to where you were.
And like I think he said, this is the most love he's ever felt, or I mean, it's gonna be really tough.
Right,
really tough.
And he added in the beginning of the story, and I spoiled her.
Right.
And I've heard this from other people before, and it's like you end a relationship and you're like, I was a good boyfriend, I was this, I was that. If that's not enough, I mean, what are you chasing? You gotta think to yourself, if I did all this, I was so great and grand, and she still was talking to this online community. But this stuff's common now.
But the over love thing, like the overdoing it, turns some people off. Like just showering them with gifts and too much emotion.
Yeah, you become a chump.
You become
yeah. This is one of those situations. Like if I talk to him in a live coaching, we can identify if this is a Mr. Nice Guy syndrome or something like that. Right. Which is, I just had someone in a live coaching session 2 days ago. Classic nice guy, and he knew it. He knew it. He goes, I say yes to everything. Really nice guy, introvert. So he doesn't like to talk a lot anyways.
Yeah. So,
and he was like, I've already downloaded No More Mr. Nice Guy, and he's aware of it, right? But at the same time, you can't. This is what the thing about like YouTube and all these other things. You can't just change your character in a day.
No, it's hard.
Especially for a woman. So the fact that you're introverted and this and that, you're gonna want to change some things, but you don't want to change everything about you just to appease
this person, right? Yeah.
Right. I'm gonna read one more story and then I'll get to the live stream. Oh, Johnny, LinderTube, welcome. Sabina, always welcome. Dark Knight, it's been a while. I'm glad you're on deck. Null Theory, I'll answer your questions in a little bit, so just put them in the live stream and I will get to them if you guys have any questions on any of these. Oh, Johnny, New Jersey's finest, and Tanat Pon. We got some ties in here today. Great.
Right on.
All right. So, next story says, Mac, I broke up with my boyfriend of 4 years yesterday. He's 35 and I'm 37. I'm 2 years older, but feel like I'm 20 years older. Okay. He still collects baseball cards and G.I. Joe characters from the 80s. He's a bit of a big kid, which I liked in the beginning, but now it's gotten old. Well, here's one of those things. You knew what you were getting into. I mean, did you think he was going to, go on Wall Street and wear a suit eventually. I just want a guy that takes responsibility more and some sort of career. I mean, he makes money from selling cards, but he's obsessive over it. Well, recently, I used to collect cards as a kid. There's been a craze with cards, and the industry's actually, there's a lot of money in it, so it's not like he might not be making some money from it. Plus, I'm not sure if he'll ever grow up. So you've said that more than once. Beyond all that, I met someone at work that's everything he's not and is much more handsome. Well, here you go. You've built a case of why you don't want to be with this guy because you got interest in someone else. You got a little back burner here. I've had some feelings for this guy for a long time. He actually knows my boyfriend and is friends with him. Not good friends, but friends. Wow. I'm wondering how much time should I wait to convey my feelings to this guy? I'm pretty sure he's attracted to me, but not completely sure. What makes you pretty sure? I do think he might have a problem with the fact that my ex is his friend. I would hope so. I would hope he cares about that. I mean, I've just had a policy in my own life. I just don't mess with friends, girlfriends, or exes. I mean, that's just a flat value moral for me. There's too many fish in the sea. It's a no-no. And yeah, what he doesn't know is that me and my ex haven't slept together for months. I don't know if you should tell him that also in the process of trying to woo him towards you. Something that made the breakup easier. My ex tried, but I just lost interest in him a year ago, and intimacy just felt like a chore. And he's gained weight last year, and I'd basically say he's fat. He kept making jokes about it, but it wasn't funny. So I'm ready to move on, and this guy's the one I want. Well, here's the thing. I don't have problem with you, having your reasons why you broke up. I don't have problems with you basically, this is one of those breakups, it's done. It's done. Like you've built your case. Going after someone that's his friend, it's pretty cold-hearted. And if you were going to do that, at least wait a little bit. But I still would say the fact that she mentions that she hasn't had intimacy in months, I think she's using that as an excuse. But
Sure.
Maybe put yourself out there and see if there's some other people out there that might be willing to step up. Now that things have opened up, I'm sorry. My friend said I should, lost my place. He kept making jokes about it, but it wasn't funny. So I'm ready to move on with this guy that I want. How would you suggest I go about this? How do I let this guy know I like him? Keep in mind, folks, she just wrote that she broke up yesterday. This is a pretty quick pivot, huh? So, number one, I'd wait, right? Number one, I'd wait. Number two, why does it have to be this guy that's the friend, right? I don't even feel good about giving you advice on how to do this. Because even though this guy's overweight, he's a baseball card collector, he's outgrown he's brought this on himself. I don't know. I still don't like the idea that a day later you're willing to go for the gold with his buddy. So to me, I just can't be like, all right, go about it like this. Because I just have this visual of this guy sitting on his couch with a bowl of cereal, like forgetting Sarah Marshall in his pajamas, going through his baseball cards, crying. And then he finds out from another friend that you're screwing around with his buddy, right? I don't want to be a part of that. So my friend said I should wait a month before dating, or it will really hurt my ex's feelings. I mean, I don't know if you have to wait a month before dating, but I would wait at least a month before pursuing his friends. Here's the thing. I know we are not getting back together. No chance. I was actually sticking it out this last month out of pity and just the fact that we had lockdown a lot. Now that things have opened up, I'm ready. I shouldn't have to consider hurting him if I really don't have any plans of getting back. No, that's bullshit. you can still be a good human, right? You're 37 years old. You got at least 40 years left on this earth to 50 years. You could wait a fucking month or two if it's going to soften the blow on this guy. It was yesterday that you broke up, and now you got eyes for his friend and you're looking for angles. Just cool the jets a little bit, all right? Maybe join one of these cyber communities that were in the other story and do some dress-up games or something. I don't know. But, you know, just going straight for the gold with his buddy, right? Have some humanity to you, right? Come on. He's already texted me multiple times asking to work things out. You know you're not going to work things out. That's fine. But at least spare him this for a little while, right? Because one of the worst things I think that could happen is you break up and someone ends up with your friend. And you said like they're not great friends, but still. I've had people call me up with it, and it's an extra salt in the wound for sure, right? And we don't even know if this guy likes you. Because it sounds like this guy, some guys would just be like, oh, hell no, right? Like, nah, I'm sorry, especially a day after. So if I were you, I would open up the floodgates to meeting some other people. I honestly have no feelings at this point. I feel sorry for him, but he's got so many things to work on, and I'm not going to wait around for that at 37. So how do I get this new guy? Well, how would you get any guy would be the question, right, B? Mm-hmm. Like it's kind of funny because I don't, women have kind of a straight line to a guy.
Yeah. Right.
Do you know what I mean about that? And it's not because you cook well, hun. Right? They say the way to a man's heart is his stomach. What's the way to a man's head? I don't know. What do you think, man? How can you seduce him? Well, seduce him. Right? Yeah. It's like I've known some women before that have like mutual friends or something like that, and they're like, I don't know how my friend gets all these guys. Really?
It's a struggle for you?
Yeah, really. Is she conservative? No, not at all. She's really flirtatious, and she's really easy, actually. Oh, okay.
Well, there you go.
There's a straight line. Petty Betty, I think Jen's on deck. Sabina's on deck. We got some females here. Alep's on deck. Mr. Laffy Quince. Yeah, we do have a new camera angle today that I'm playing with. That's why it's like that, Petty Betty. Petty Betty says baseball cards could be worth something. That's absolutely true. I don't think it's just that's the problem, right? She's just building a case that they're on different wavelengths.
She just lost attraction.
She lost attraction. She's got her reasons. But Roller Girl's on deck too. So what would you say? What would you guys say, Jen? What would you guys say? What would you ladies say? Guys say, excuse me. What would you say, though? How does she get this guy? How does she get this guy? And how does she go about getting a guy? If you've been in a relationship 4 years, sometimes you forget what it is, right? Because you haven't been,
You haven't been out there.
Yeah. Dress provocative? No. I've never had a story like this sent into me before.
She said she worked with a guy, though, right?
I think you're right. Yeah, I think you're right. Yeah, they do work together. So, yeah, you're right.
Provocative thing might not work at being at work.
Like I said, I don't really want to support this, but there is a straight line to this situation. Anyone have any suggestions on deck here? Let me go through the live stream real quick. Let her go totally. That's a disloyal woman. That's about the first one. Noel Theory says, I've always wondered how long is a while since it seems to be so dependent on the individual and the context. I don't know what you meant by a while. Like how long is a long-term relationship?
Or a while since they've had sex? Is that what they're talking about?
Maybe because
I think that's what the story was
the
saying.
prior story. Yeah. I mean, you're right. It's up to the individual. You know, I've been in conversations with friends before, and like, someone's complaining, like, "Oh, we only do it once a week," and someone just goes silent.
They're like,
someone just goes silent, like you immediately know that they don't even want to. They don't even want to throw input on it because they're like years, months, right? Someone's like, "Oh man, it's only been once a week for a while," you know, and the other person's just like. Just like this odd, you know. It's, you know, what's been a while for one might be less for the other. So, you know, and
but he's right. That's what he said, right?
Intimacy varies with different couples, and especially what they do too, right?
How long you've been together?
Sure. Yeah. Man-child syndrome now. And Sabina says, haven't been on here in a while. I've been missing them. Right on, oh Johnny. Cards ain't bad.
There's nothing wrong with what that guy was doing. It's just a different like wavelength than what she, you know, is on.
Roller Girl's suggestion is, ready for this?
What?
Ask him to help her with something. I need you to help me move out of my ex's place, who's your friend. Can you help me? I actually knew a relative that, let's just say, isn't single very long, ever. And let's transition this camera. There you go. Now we got some daylight over the head. Such a different picture, huh? Okay, so we're just playing with some things today because I want to have multi cameras going, a little bit better quality with the film, right? So, but that's wrong to evolve with work guy. She sounds trashy, ambivalent. She needs to grow up. Not giving any advice, says Sabina. There you are. We lost video, please. Ask him to help her with something.
Yeah.
Hold on, let's see here.
Should be good now.
I went back.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a much better camera, huh? Isn't that amazing what a different camera does? I've had this camera for years and I never use it. Thanks, Jen. I did have one more. So I do have a new website. If you guys want to go check that out, rightmac.com. It's new. It's a lot better than the old one.
Fresh.
Yeah. And someone didn't write in a full story, but they just put it in the contact area. And this one's a little deep. Hallelujah. Hallelujah. So this one is very short, and like I said, they wrote it in the contact, so like to contact me with something. And this is what happens if you don't write your story in and pay the $25. You kind of do some half-ass, kind of like a little bit of what it is because you didn't pay, and then you don't give me all the details. It's really important because the cool thing is when you pay, you go, you know what? I can write a 4-page story. I paid. Right? Or I can go all in on this. Because the details count, because they count to you, right? So let's just see what this, my on and off again ex-fiance of 2 years left me pregnant. Went back to women he swore he didn't want to be with. When I first found out I was pregnant, he wanted to be together, then he started to pull away. Now I get ignored, disrespected, and told to call him when the baby is born. He has moved on and made me break up with a potential partner knowing he was with her already. I did some irrational things like broke into his house and went to his parents' house looking for him. Danny cracked a smile on that one. And went to his parents' house looking for him, and he acted like I was just crazy and unreasonable. Why would he think that if he broke into the house? He will not support me at all unless I talk about abortion. That's tough.
Wow.
That's heavy.
This is deep.
I don't want to be with him. I just wanted the respected truth. After all, he had been sleeping with me discreetly for 2 years now. But when I asked for information on his personal life, he ran. I do not want this man in our kid's life. I do not know what to do. I'm alone and hurting really bad. I can't find the strength just to move on like he did. These are tough. Those are the tough ones.
Mm-hmm. Wow.
When you get into these things with pregnancies and whatnot, I really, depending on where you live, I think it's important to see a lawyer and see what your rights are and how you're going to go about like visitation and stuff. I definitely believe that if you're not up for abortion, don't do it. That's something that's your choice and has to be your choice. But when someone gets like this, you need to figure out what your rights are, where you're at, and where you're gonna be at once you have the baby. But I always tell people, if you're gonna go all in and be a parent, then that's your purpose. Everyone talks about having a purpose, right? It's like that's gonna be your purpose. That's gonna be your purpose, right? Like that, like you're gonna be a good parent no matter what, and that's what needs to be your focus.
It's a pretty good focus,
right?
To have, yeah.
Right. So it's like, once that baby comes out, you know exactly where you're headed and what you're going to do. Johnny, hey, I remember when we talked to you, said that the bucket is never full mentally. Does that apply when I fix the previous things that I did wrong in the relationship and now finds another thing to be mad? Okay, so Johnny and me have done a live coaching session before. I've actually used this analogy before that when you have a partner, it doesn't always have to be a woman, but there'll be a certain area. So, for example, I say that we have buckets, but we can call it, this is just the way I set up the theory. You got different buckets in your life. You got money, finances. You got family, friends. You got your job or your career. Some people call your purpose. You got camaraderie is a big one. I don't know if that's friends and family, but like how you get on with people. So anyways, I have a list of these, but like if someone is constantly, and this happens to men a lot, getting nagged about nitpicking, or for example, in the story previously today about the, you didn't take the trash out, you didn't do this, you didn't do that, you didn't do this. It's never enough. And guys say, I feel like I can never be right. Right. And then like classic term of I'm walking on eggshells. And you got to start going to yourself like, is this person just unhappy with themselves? Or is this just how they line up relationships? Right. Is this how their mom acts? That they're always bitchy and like they're like it's never enough. They're never give you a compliment. Like human beings, like give me a compliment once in a while. Tell me my hair looks good.
Every now and then.
Yeah. Just throw me throw me an emotional bone. And if you're in one of those relationships, you kind of start getting like, you get angry about it, but you keep getting cornered. You gotta start going, wait a minute, like, what am I getting from all this? All I keep doing is just
trying.
Trying.
Yeah.
There's always, Eve says, there's always thing to be mad with in life. What finds you are you not seem like a peaceful option for some. For some people, though. When the nagging over BS starts increasing, she has got to go. Don't waste another minute or dump her and walk away. I mean, it's not that easy to do in some marriages and different things.
At least talk to her about it for sure.
Yeah, but the problem is when it becomes something that the guy just goes, yeah, okay, fine.
Right.
And right? It's okay.
Goes along, yeah.
It's and then makes it part of the relationship, right?
Then you're always feeling down, about it.
Yeah. But if you're thinking that you can never get credit or you're walking on eggshells, it's common. But where's your power in the situation? Right? Where's your power in the situation? It's probably one of those things that's not going to change. LinderTube says this is a good duo. Right on, B. I have no patience for damaged trash like that. So much immaturity. F that. Well, that was poetic. Thanks for that, Dark Knight. Always best to walk away from trash once your identify them as trash. God, that's a harsh thing to call people, huh?
Trash?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's not a nice thing, right?
Mm-mm.
So I was like, Danny, you're just a piece of trash. It's like, Danny's like,
Don't talk to
did
Danny
you
like that."
call me trash? Really? Really, though? I would say, oh, Johnny, in your case, though, no, my girlfriend does. I guess I'm saying that I'm always told what I'm doing wrong, but when I correct the issues, I feel like another issue arises that she's upset about.
So just always finding something to complain.
Well, there you go. You're the fireman.
Yeah.
She's the fire.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, Johnny, what? Are you still with the same woman that we did the coaching on? By the way, me and Johnny did a live coaching session. First of all, cool dude. Really cool dude. I enjoyed talking to him. We had a good chat. But Johnny's probably one of the only people I know that was in his bedroom and his girlfriend was in the living room while he was talking to me. I'm pretty sure that's what it was. And I was like, wow, that's bold, man.
Bold.
Right? Yeah, she probably doesn't hear me. I think that was you, right? Like, usually people talk to me in their cars, in a parking lot. They're like, I'm in a parking lot right now. I'm like, yeah, it happens all the time.
Space.
Or the fact that I have a lot of late night slots because of the time difference. People will talk to me like at 1 a.m., 12 o'clock because everyone's asleep, right? Or like their roommates aren't up. Totally get it. He's like, nah, she's in the other room.
She's chilling.
I think he heard and he's like, yeah, I'm just talking to a friend. I was like, wow. Because a lot of people would be worried about that, right?
Mm-hmm.
Man. I even had one client, he was, he had a few drinks, right?
Yeah.
And he was, parked in his car, and I'm like, hey, man, you're not going anywhere, are you? No, man, no, I'm just in front of my house right now. I just got back, and I'm like, you didn't, I don't want to know. It's none of my business. He wasn't wrecked, but you could tell he had a few, right? Man, this is another thing that's just coming up again and again is these, and if you watch, Johnny says we spoke after we had a big argument, actually, over a pizza, right? I remember everything, Johnny. Johnny told me, tell me I'm wrong on this, Johnny. So, Johnny, before we talk, he's like, man, I went out and got a pizza, threw it on the table. She said earlier that she didn't want anything to eat, and then when she came back over, she's like, oh, you didn't get any pizza for me?
That's a common one.
Okay, so she wasn't in the house. She went to take a walk. I think she came home while we were talking, though. But yeah, those are the kind of fights, though, that you're like,
the pointless ones.
Yeah. What's really great is in fights like that is you go, sure, I'll just order you another pizza.
Yeah, easy.
I don't even want a pizza now.
It's just trying to make.
If you just keep going, if you just keep going, hey, actually, you know what? I'll pick up. I'll have one ordered and delivered over. No, I don't want one now. Really?
That makes them more angry when you're so easy, to fix the problem. That's not.
Was I right, Johnny, about the pizza thing? I got a Rolodex of on clients, man. You're gonna be like, what? How'd you remember that? PMDD, it's a hormonal disorder. Man, there's a lot of disorders in human beings these days, huh? What did we do in the 1800s when we didn't have all these disorders? It's crazy, huh? I don't think that people had this stuff, huh, as much. It's crazy. The guy yesterday, if you guys heard the story yesterday, that was a lengthy, detailed story. I think his girlfriend was diagnosed with bipolar disorder. It was like in the middle of this. I think it was bipolar, and he just goes and then she just stopped therapy, And then he continues on the story, and I'm like, oh, okay, that's probably not good.
That's a big one. Bipolar?
Was it bipolar or no? What's BPD? No, is that right? Yeah. I get confused. I'm not good with for how good my memory is. I mean, I know anxiety, I know depression, but like these other ones. Oh, borderline. Isn't borderline different? Yeah. You know that one? It's different. It's not bipolar. I'm sorry. And then you get these people getting these, borderline disorder. Yeah, there you go.
Borderline disorder.
Yeah. And then people go, you don't know what that is? You're a coach. And I'm like, I've heard of it, but I'm not gonna be an expert on. You know what I mean?
On all these different ones. No.
I mean, we can pull it up in about a millisecond online, and I can read off to you what it is.
Just a general.
Yeah, I could sit here and be like, oh yeah, actually I know all about it.
But actually,
hold on a sec. Let me go to MayoClinic.com. And I'll put on my. I actually know all about that, Mac. Yeah, because you read some website, dude. It's like, come on. The reality is, the reason I won't say that, the reason I know about breakups, I talked to about a fucking 1,000 people about breakups, right? I've been through a few. I've been on both ends of them. I can talk to you about them. I have confidence in it. Someone's like, oh, you don't know BPD? I mean, I know it's a little bit about it, but I'll tell you when you really know something is when you've had it before.
Or a family.
Right? Or you've had a family, friend, or colleague that you're close to. Then you got a little perspective. But if you're sitting here going, oh, yeah, I know all about it because I read something. Okay, sure, man. We ordered the pizza. We got into the argument. Then the pizza came while she wasn't talking to me. Then I just started eating, and she got mad because I didn't let her know the pizza was here while I... See, I was right. Oh, Johnny, huh? I remember. He told me the story right when he got it. I was like, man. So I just started eating the pizza.
Nothing wrong with that.
I don't know why she's upset. I don't know. I know how she saw the pizza on the table because she looks herself in the room and then she locks herself in the room and comes out periodically to go in the kitchen and go back to the room. So I know she glanced to see the pizza on the table. Yeah, she's just reaching for stuff,
just
man.
Going.
Yeah. Those kind of relationships, you're just like, those are the kind of things where you guys are hanging out too much, probably.
You're actively looking for things to upset you.
Nitpick, yeah.
Nitpick,
that means you don't have enough.
no.
You don't have enough stuff to do sometimes.
Yeah, you need to be occupied with
I don't think
things.
I've been in one of those situations where I've been nitpicked like that. Me personally. So I've witnessed it with friends, and I just think to myself,
Oh, wow.
hey, dude, it's always a choice, man. Oh, isn't it crazy how all girlfriends are like this? No, that's just yours, dude. Sorry. You put up with what you want to put up with. That's fine by me. What do you think you would do, B, if you were dating a woman and she drops on you? She's like, everything's rose petals and wine glasses. You guys are, on the beach together, holding hands. You're out for sunset. You got these great Instagram posts, and you're just, wow, it's the greatest intimacy you've ever had in your life. The list goes on. And then she's like, oh, I just want to let you know I have borderline personality disorder. First of all, I wouldn't laugh as a reaction because that might not go over well. But would you?
Probably not.
So you'd go, hold on, hon. Let me look it up on the internet before I respond.
I would say I have no idea what that is. I don't know.
No, but I mean,
I have no idea.
It comes up all the time in a lot of these breakups. They're like, and then she told me, or then he told me a lot of times, and I just think and a lot of times, the guy will be like, oh, we can work on that.
let me
figure it out. There was recently a client that had the girlfriend had an eating disorder.
Okay. Yeah.
Right, and it's like, totally get it.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know much about it, but to start a relationship like that.
Yeah.
Man, I've never been in that situation. But then those relationships tend to go a little south.
Yeah. understandably.
They're all crazy. Rob, need to check that story about Joe. Excuse me. What's your all take on scheduling intimacy?
Scheduling intimacy?
I'm sure it's done, oh Johnny. I'm sure it's done. I mean, that runs different for different couples.
True.
Right? That runs different for different couples. And it's kind of one of those things. Here's the funny thing. Women talk about it more than guys. I think guys, once this is their girlfriend, they don't really go there and guy talk. They're not like, oh, yeah, you know what I mean? They don't really go, like V said right away. He's like, yeah. Like, nah. Like, you don't go into it. But I've had girlfriends before where they have their friends over, and I'm always like friendly with the friends. Friends always like me and shit, so they kind of free around me.
They let their guard down a bit.
They let their guard around me. Like they're free around me. So like I'm not one of those that's like in the business, but they'll be having lunch or they'll be having girl talk. And like some of the shit they'll say, they throw out a lot of dirty laundry.
Oh yeah.
They throw out a lot of stuff. And you're just like, damn, you're just throwing that out about your boyfriend or something. Guys don't do that shit. Right? So it's kind of funny. Like we don't do it once it's like, no, that's my girlfriend. I'm not gonna go into that with my buddies. Right? So I don't know. The scheduling thing, that might be one of those things. If you're really busy and you're working a lot, maybe
different people. I mean,
I would say this: if you're gonna do that, then I would say dress appropriately.
make it as interesting. Yeah, I agree.
I would say if you're gonna make that work, you're gonna be like, it's not gonna be you on the couch with the pizza on.
No. No.
Right?
Yeah.
It's gotta be like, okay, what's the theme this week? Right? I got a red light bulb, you know?
Yeah.
It's gotta be something.
Right.
If you're gonna do that. Then you can make it fun. Right?
Yeah, you got to figure out, different ways to make it fun.
Yeah,
for sure.
and actually, to be honest with you, I remember there's been a few women that have had like post breakup. I'll never forget this one. Rob's gonna know because he hears every live stream I do, and so some of this shit's redundant. But I'll never forget this one because she was late 20s, really good looking, had everything going for her. They had a house in a beautiful city in the world. I won't say where, but like an expensive city, right? And I'll just say Australia. And they had like, she's going on and about like, I can't believe we broke up. And like in the back of your head, wow, great job, master's degree, like list goes on. Like this girl was like, wow, this guy broke up with her,
Right.
like she's got a lot going for her. And then it's like, yeah, we've only been intimate twice this year. Whoa, really?
Ooh.
And I don't know why you broke up.
Ding, ding, ding. I think.
And then we went, like I was like, well, she found out why that was really quick. Like there was some issue there that was beyond their relationship. That was like a prior thing in her history.
Right.
That she found out afterwards. But then she was like, I just want to have like one last night of intimacy to show him what I'm made of. Yeah. And one of the things was like, let's meet in a hotel, and I'm gonna. And I was like, damn, that's descriptive. I was like, I think that's a great idea.
Yeah.
I was like,
That's
I was
making it
like
fun.
in my head, I was like, hold on. I was like, yeah, go. I mean, too bad it's a year too late, but maybe that's the answer to that, oh Johnny. Yeah, she was saying we should schedule, and I'm like, no, it says I need to initiate it more, but I've stopped initiating it because she kept rejecting it. I guess I went for it at wrong times. LOL. No, you know what happens is that if you get rejected enough, you go into it
thinking you're gonna get rejected.
Yeah,
like
you can't
already,
even get a 50-50 up.
Yeah.
You can't even get a 50 up. You know what a 50-50 is? Yeah.
It's pretty
Right?
pretty easy to get that. Yeah.
You're like, because you're already like, it's not going to work, right? You already go into it with a negative attitude.
mindset, yeah,
and
for
so, I mean, if that's the case, maybe scheduling it's better. But like I said,
Short term, maybe. I don't know if that. I mean, then maybe you get the passion going again.
I will
don't
say
know.
when you live together that like there's so many different perspectives you see of each other because of work and whatnot and stress.
Yeah.
That
much
it's
life
sometimes
gets
you
thrown
can
at you,
lose
yeah.
attraction. So the idea that if you're going to schedule it, like I said, make sure it's themed or something. Maybe you should, maybe a nice raincoat as a Christmas gift for it would be good or something. Dark Knight says, "Oh, Johnny, come to Cyprus. He's in Cyprus. You know where that is? I think it's near Greece. Yeah. I've heard good things about it. Your memory is what you're special in. Thanks, Jen. Yeah, you liked yesterday's story. That was it's a real story, man. The guy actually emailed me back yesterday and he said he wants to do a live coaching afterwards. A lot of people do that. Once the story's unpacked, they're like, I do want to do a coaching and talk about it. Yeah. Well, because you realize, first of all, like when your story's all laid out, you kind of go, oh shit, I look at it differently now. Then when you hear my take, you got a different perspective that's not your friend about the whole thing.
Right.
And then you kind of want to explain some things.
Really go into it.
Yeah, you're like,
sure.
I did leave a couple things out. He shared a lot, but like, I do want to explain a couple things. And so sometimes like, yeah, that's the next
step.
step.
They talk to you and you get some real clarity.
Yeah.
For sure.
Make intimacy important enough to schedule it. Yeah, maybe I don't drive her to want to like she used to, I guess is why she's scheduled it. I mean, that's one of those things too. She's putting it into her frame, right? This is my idea. This is what we should do. This is what we should do. My question would be, if that was your idea, would she knock it down? You know, because that's one of the worst things is when you're with negative people, and it has to be their idea all the time. Like you can come up with a great fucking plan, and they're like, "No, that's stupid."
Just because they didn't think.
Yeah, like, oh, that's stupid. Yeah. Oh, schedule intimacy. Oh yeah. This is what I want to do, and then you go, yeah, okay, I'll do it. Right. The other thing you can go back to is you can always go back to when was it good and why. When was it really good and why? What was different? Absolutely. You know, did you have different time? Did you have different yeah, the honeymoon phase is different. But one of the biggest things, though, Johnny, they'll come back to again and again, and they talk about it in a book called Mating in Captivity, which is a great title. The number one thing probably that creates better intimacy or better yearning for each other is space. You know, go away for a weekend or two. Ignore her for a few days.
You talk about it all the time. Scarcity is attractive.
Yeah.
Right?
I mean, do it in your own style. You're smart enough to figure it out, but placating and all that stuff, sometimes just going completely neutral and stoic on someone, they go, what?
Oh, this is a different side. This is a different look.
Yeah. Derek D says that takes the fun out of it. Yeah, it was 64.3% according to the CDC in 2020 women ages 18 to 64. What is that in regards to?
To the disorder we were talking about? Is that what they're talking?
Wow. For what, Derek D? Roller sex is always important. Why be in relationships at all without sex? Okay. Yeah, maybe I don't drive her to one. Okay. Linder Tubes says, give space, then fill it. What? Wow, crafty, clever. No manipulation needed. Just walk away. Yeah, walking away is so easy to tell people. I sitting in my seat, it is. Women on meds. It's actually, man, it's I think it's more than common.
Everyone's.
It's geographically based, probably. For the amount of women prescribed meds in America. Wow, Derek D.
Wow.
I would say that's accurate or below. And I don't know if that's the women's fault or if that's the environment that's being baked in. There's a lot of blaming going on men aren't this, women aren't that, men aren't this, but people aren't realizing what's making people this way. The environments. the content that's being, it's not just people were born this way. I mean, she's got a second job now, but we still eat dinner together every night. She said she gets tired of being the one initiating quality time. Well, quality time and intimacy might be two different things. I don't know.
Quality time could lead to intimacy.
Yeah. She does suffer from anxiety, but she's working on that, man. You just got to come back to, oh, Johnny, what do you want? And, you know, everything's a trade-off. It's funny. I was just listening to Thomas Sowell. You've seen him before, B?
Yeah.
Is it Soul or Soul? I always it's Soul. It's Soul, right?
Yeah.
Thomas Sowell. And he's just a brilliant guy, man. Brilliant. And he's talking about different things about, philosophy and politics and different things. But one thing he always comes back to, there's no wrong or right answer. It's all trade-offs. He just always does that. He goes, it's all a trade-off. You're not going to win completely. And you think to yourself, that's kind of what relationships are, right? That's kind of what your job is. It's not necessarily you're going to get everything you want. You're going to just pick the one where you're more comfortable with the trade-off. So it's like that in relationships. But we keep trying to make some things work that aren't working. And then someone will say, wow, well, why don't you just break up? Sometimes it's not that simple.
Not that simple, yeah.
Damn, do you mean like no more than 10 minutes on Monday, Wednesday, and Friday between 5:30 and 6 p.m.? Yeah, if you're going to, right, D? Right, Double D? It's like, if you are going to schedule it in, how many minutes is it going to be? Shit. I remember when I was in college, this guy was like a friend of a friend. And he was like, oh, dude, he's like, me and my girl just went at it for like 3 hours yesterday. I'm like, 3 hours, dude?
Hours?
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah, man. And I'm like, get the fuck out of here, dude. I'm like, we're in our 20s, man.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, no, that's how I roll, man. Like, he just keeps going on about it. I'm like, get out of here, dude. There's no way you're doing 3 hours, man. No way. It's like, I swear to God. It's like, yeah, right.
Okay.
Sure, whatever. I believe you, sure. Right on, man. And you can fly. 3 times a week, sign me up. Run for the hills. Oh, Johnny threw it out there today. Oh, Johnny. Man, if I had... Yeah, I can't do it right now. I don't think the things... You could be a call-in today, oh, Johnny. How long have you been with her at this point, Johnny? All right, we got 16 on deck, 5 likes. Donations are welcome. Likes are welcome. The live stream's open for questions here. People aren't the same, Mac. Social media has created a disposable mentality. Relationships, appliances, jobs, friendships, you name it. People have become lazy and don't want to work in things. Well, that's a positive outlook, Chad. You want to call in right now, oh, Johnny? Danny has a wonderful voice. You can hear Danny in the background? Or are you talking about B? Danny's been on before, though. Danny's actually got a deep voice.
We got to throw on another mic here.
Yeah. Jen says, it's true. You know what's interesting is when I heard Jordan Peterson recently was on like some channel, and he was like, he started out saying some negative things about social media, but then realizes that's how he sells his books. And he's like, actually, social media is it's a powerful thing. It's a powerful thing. And you need to learn this technology. Isn't it funny, like, depending on who the person is and how they present the information, it seems so big. But if I was just like, oh, social media is a powerful thing, but like Dr. Jordan Peterson, author of 3 books, it's a powerful thing you have to learn. Social media it's something you can't play with, right? It's like, that's bad for you.
It's powerful when you're making millions, that's for sure.
Yeah, Danny has a wonderful voice. Wow. Little secret fan club here. Welcome back, co-host. About other person. Says you're taking souls tonight, Mac. Thanks, Linda, too. But I don't know if that's a compliment or not.
Taking souls?
Yeah.
Yeah. Could go either way on that one.
No, Danny's here, but he's actually handling the camera work today. But B with the B is on the mic. Alep's out. Alep's got a new job filming for another company right now. He's doing pretty well, but he said whenever you want me to be back on the live stream, I will. But he's only available on the weekends.
He was lurking in chat, wasn't
Yeah, he did. He
there.
did pop his head up. Yeah, he's been feeding some stray cats in the streets, taking pictures. The only person I know that's biggest dream in life is to visit Cat Island in Japan, and I'm not joking. Are you afraid of being alone, oh Johnny? Wow, that's a deep question. Seems like a simple one, huh? Who isn't like? I'm never afraid of being alone, man. Don't diss the sex for hours. It's most certainly does happen, especially when the attraction is new, hot and heavy. Right on, Dark Knight. I've never had a 3-hour session, so maybe I'm just jealous. I'm just being
20s.
honest.
Yeah, I mean, it seems a little unlikely.
Maybe someone out there is like, "Oh, you haven't? Wow!" And it's like, "Nope, just being honest. Never went 3 hours. Sorry." I listened to Sting while having. Oh wow, you lender tube. That's pretty deep. Does Aleph have Instagram? Yeah, he does.
Oh, he takes good pics.
Yeah. What is Aleph's Instagram? Aleph PP or something?
Yeah, what is
Yeah, Aleph PP. I think.
Aleph.pp, something like that.
I don't use Instagram, so I don't know.
Is this new camera better? Yeah, I think it is. It goes without saying, huh?
To adjust a bit still.
Huh?
I have still to have things to adjust with the camera. So
But it looks good.
it's almost like new set up entirely.
Yeah, no, the picture looks better than before for sure. Oh, is that what it is, Linder, too? Tantric.
Tantric, yeah.
Have you done Tantric before, B? Have you even read a book about it?
No.
Jen says, I've never had a 3-hour session either. I'm just honest, right? Like, everyone wants to appear.
That's a
oh, yeah,
workout.
I've done a few 3-hour sessions. Not me, dude. Sorry. That seems exhausting.
Yeah.
I'm not afraid of being alone. Was single for 3-4 years before we got together. And you were good at it, if I'm correct, right? Oh, Johnny was good at it. Oh, Johnny was a player.
Well, I mean, a lot of people are afraid to be alone.
But it's like you have good times and bad times. Yeah. No, I've lived alone off and on, and there is definitely times where you feel it. But there's definitely times when you're in a relationship and you're like, I wish I lived alone. I've had those kind of sessions, but it's heavy on foreplay and role play. It's not every night or everything.
There you go.
Average should be 30 minutes. Okay. The national average is about 30 minutes of intimacy. Right?
If you're throwing role play in there,
Wow, I remember I was with some buddies and we were having beers, like watching I think it was like NFL weekend or something like that. We used to meet up. That's what I miss living overseas, is like when NFL was on Sunday. Like if you want to watch the NFL here, you got to get up at like 2 a.m. on Monday. It's not the same. NFL's National Football League, American football. And so we were all out having beers and just cutting each other up and clowning and joking around. And like my buddy said something like, oh, and one of the dudes was really heavy set guy and stuff. And he's like, Steve does a lot of role play at home with this girl. And he's like, he just went like beet red. And my friend was joking around with him, and he's like, yeah, I do that shit sometimes, dude. Yeah, I'll do some role play sometimes. Yeah, it's cool. And everyone at the table was like, all right, dude, we don't even know, man.
Oh, we hit something.
We don't want to know about your Santa Claus costume, dude. Someone just threw it out there, and he's just like, yeah, yeah, yeah. I was like, okay, I don't even want to know anymore here. People are so disposable now that you break up before 3 hours is up. You know, how I told you sometimes I feel like you got to be perfect. Shit, there's no such thing as being perfect, dude. There's a perfect moment in life, maybe once or twice. And even then, when you look back, you go, actually, it wasn't that perfect. I was talking about this gimp suits.
Gimp suits. Pulp Fiction going on,
yeah. Yeah, man. People start. You know what comes up a lot, Ochani, and I've heard this probably more from women. Is they'll go, I just want a normal relationship. I just want and I'm like, well, what's normal?
What's normal? Yeah.
Sounds boring. People are disposable these days. Social media is one of the reasons. Would you consider YouTube social media?
Yeah.
It is actually because of the comments, right?
Yeah.
Guilty. I mean, there's going to be problems with it long term for a lot of people, right?
Yeah.
Some people's identity crisis. It's a lot of content, man.
A lot of content.
That's gross. LinderTube said fruit roll-up edible underwear. That's gross, man. That's too. That's sticky. We went a little bit overboard on this live stream today. B let it out. Men want peace. I agree, especially with Instagram. Do you want to call in, Johnny? I'm feeling good today. I got time. I don't have any other people lined up for a live coaching like I usually do. Today's an open afternoon. Instagram is basically Tinder for many.
Mm-hmm.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
You think so?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Depend on how you use it, but it's very addictive. Social media, exactly.
Media.
Options are options at your disposal.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it depends on how you use it. Like I said, like Dr. Jordan Peters, it's a powerful thing. It's a powerful piece of technology. It's like, yeah, don't say anything bad about what sells your books.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't mean that in a negative way. I mean, I'm on YouTube doing these live streams and different things, and I have a website, and if you want to, call in, so same way. You're okay. Do you have, you don't have, shit. You don't have shit. I didn't mean it that way. Do you have Skype on here?
No.
That's what I usually use to call in.
Maybe you can connect do you have it on your phone? No, on the phone. Do you have
No, I don't have Skype on this phone. I usually like to use Skype because it comes in clear.
Yeah.
You have an alternative one on this computer?
No.
No? All right, we'll have to figure out that last time. We'll have to do it in the future. Johnny would be funny too. He's got to be.
We'll hook that up later today.
Man. YouTube does way too much censoring in comments though. I don't know. Do you think you get docked for swearing? Some people told me that I get docked for swearing.
I think you do.
And that's one of because I swear in some of mine.
Mm-hmm.
And they're like, "Oh, you get down the totem pole of views."
Mm-hmm.
Instagram allows some to think they're celebrities. Instagram, the biggest dating site in the world. I mean, so when you DM someone, you just say, "Hey, what's up?"
I guess. Yeah, I mean, I've never used it like that, but
Interesting. I know some people that use it that way.
I'm sure a lot of these people get tons of DMs. So you're like, you have to go through all of them.
Oh yeah.
You know
No,
what I mean?
I've one of my first coaching sessions years back. The guy lived United Emirates.
Mm-hmm.
I might be there, and the girl was in America, and she was like an influencer.
Yeah.
And they met up in like Greek islands. Like the first time they met up, they did trips together.
The first time. Wow.
Yeah. So it was like cool. I thought,
Yeah.
wow, but I mean, I don't know if you're going to be long-term partners with that. Instagram dating method, the cold approach. We'll have to have someone on here one day that's an Instagram specialist.
Influencer.
Man, I gotta get pseudo cyber famous. All right, folks, you got any closing questions? It's been an hour and 15 minutes. It's been pretty good. We had our stories earlier today. We're going to try to get this on deck every day. I got Danny and B helping me out for this next month, I believe. So stay tuned. I will have a regular time that will be every day for at least 5 days a week. I know Rob's been requesting that for a while. I know I've been saying it for a while, but I'm doing it. So I've even changed my other things in my schedule. I just got to figure out the exact time. Now we got a little bit better camera. So some things are looking up here. Could be choosing too, Rob, if you have enough clout. All right, folks. Thanks, B. Thanks for your take.
No problem. It was fun.
Yep. It's curtain, folks. Later.
Later.